Do you dare to step into a town where a 14-meter high tide can swallow the road in just a few hours, where the church bells echo through the stone alleys, and where a seemingly ordinary turn reveals the backdrop of a famous fictional royal city on screen? Lace up your shoes tight, because this trip will drill straight into your memory with the smell of damp stone and the taste of cold wine. Don't look away. There's a massive plot twist mid-list, where a fairy tale city unexpectedly shows off its ultra-modern side. Miss it? And you miss the strongest punch of today's video. Welcome, your guide to skip the 7-star hotel and step onto cobbled streets that have witnessed centuries of love, war, and cinema. Today's ranking criteria are clear: medieval integrity, unique architecture, walking wow factor, and modern accessibility. Get your camera ready. Each destination comes with a key fact and a practical tip. Ready? Let's get to work. Let's begin with the first Dutch town, in South Holland. It is famous for its blue pottery and as the birthplace of a great Golden Age painter. It's a stage of water and brick where the canals reflect the rooftops. A major fire in 1536 rewrote the town's face, preserving a unique look. Walk along its oldest canal to see gold-scattered brick bridges. The historical and medieval architecture is preserved by the charming canal-ringed town. The key fact: the national pension system has an interesting early marker linked to this town. Practical tip: arrive at the central square before 9 to climb the tower of the new church, before the crowds, from where you'll see the entire canal network. The next town is a place where religion, poetry, and painting shake hands. The first Italian town, in Umbria, is a sanctuary, where you come for its patron saint and stay for the light. The light here has a way of reflecting off the frescoes, as if they were painted this morning. It's the hometown of a great Latin poet, but the greatest poetry lies on the stone surface. Cobblestone slopes guide you around walls that still breathe the scent of the 13th century. Its preserved medieval lands and artistic beauty offer peace to true lovers of ancient sites. The key fact: its network of monasteries was once a central hub for copying and storing knowledge. Practical tip: arrive early before 8:30 or after 16. Wear shoes with good grip, and set your microphone to capture the midday bells from the great fortress. Now, we climb straight up a cliff facing the Mediterranean. The first French town, on the Riviera, is a fortified village hanging at about 1,400 feet above sea level. It faces the Mediterranean with the salty wind lashing the stone walls. Take the challenging path, and your legs will tell the story in 90 minutes of sweat. In return, the exotic garden on the summit is a living museum of cacti and succulents. The village is fascinating and very photogenic, with its lovely villas covered in bougainvillea and cobblestone streets. The key fact: this town's defensive position allowed it to guard the coastline for centuries, a vital watchtower. Practical tip: climb early before 9, bring water, and capture the money shot at the stone archway looking out to sea. The evening golden hour will make the terracotta roofs burn like embers. Hold on to your camera tight, because this transition takes you from the Riviera to a storybook set. The Czech town, in southern Bohemia, is a visual storybook. Luckily spared from World War II bombings, the entire town retains its curved roof lines, with the river wrapping around the old town like a silk ribbon, and the castle above looks down like a director surveying the film set. Walking on the unique covered bridge, you'll understand what a layered landscape means. Every ancient building is well preserved and restored, making this place a worthy visit. The key fact: the castle complex here is one of the largest in its country, featuring a famous outdoor auditorium with a revolving stage. Practical tip: avoid noon. Choose the 7:10 and 16:19 slots for taking photos without crowds. Try a gentle kayak tour on the river for a low water level angle. The next place is somewhere that, if ferries existed, they would choose to stay. The second French town, in Alsace, is nicknamed Little Venice. The water threads through the streets, creating living pictures. The half-timbered houses are painted candy colors, and the canals are gentle as silk. This town sits on the Franco-German cultural axis, so the architecture and cuisine sometimes speak two languages at once. Its remarkable old structure is perfectly combined with cobblestone alleys and distinctive houses. The key fact: The region is one of the white wine areas with strict geographical indications, and this town is the gateway for a series of famous wines. Practical tip. Take a 20-minute boat ride on the canal in the late afternoon. Stand on the picturesque bridge during golden hour. If it rains, the rainwater makes the house paint shine. Sober up, because the next explosion is white stone, blue sea, and a capital that once glued the world to its screen. The Croatian coastal town in Dalmatia is where the pale limestone city walls plunge straight into the Adriatic. Its main street is polished stone, reflecting tourists' feet like a mirror. From its second season, a globally famous fantasy series used this town as the primary location for its fictional capital. Walking around this city is a journey through time. It is a complete beauty package for ancient city lovers, combining the sea, mountains, beaches, and stunning architecture. The key fact: the wall circuit is about 2 kilometers long, taking 9,120 minutes to complete. Avoid peak sun hours. Practical tip: start from the main gate at 8. Climb the highest fortress before the tour groups arrive. Then finish with the cable car up the nearby peak in time for sunset. That's a 3-layer combo. Stone, streets, and skyline. Don't cool down too quickly. The next move is the video's biggest pivot, a fairy tale city proving that intact doesn't mean static. The first German town, in Bavaria, is one of the very few that still retains its complete walkable city walls. From its most famous intersection corner to the wooden steps on the wall walk, everything feels like a wound-up music box. This town gained fame in a classic movie and is described by many as a real-life fictional village. Due to its well-preserved architecture and medieval center, it feels like visiting a city from a fairy tale. The key fact: late at night, there's a unique night watchman tour that tells the story of the old city, a kind of live podcast. Practical tip: the famous corner photographs best at the break of dawn, and year-round, a specialized shop lets you carry Christmas home in July. Take a deep breath, because we are about to step onto an island that shapeshifts according to the tide schedule. The third French town, in Normandy, looks like a fortress rising from the sea. Close up, it's a vertical city, the lower levels for shops, the middle levels for the abbey, and the highest level for silence. When the tide comes in high, the causeway to the island disappears under the water. The abbey dates back to the 8th century. The visit might make you feel transported back to another time due to its sensational and historical architecture. The key fact: the tidal range here is among the largest in Europe, potentially reaching almost 14 meters. Practical tip: check the tide schedule before you go. Park on the mainland and take the free shuttle. Arrive early before 9 to climb the stairs when they're uncrowded. Keep that rhythm, because we are about to turn towards the Iberian Peninsula. The Spanish town, in Castilla-La Mancha, is the city of 3 cultures, a memory etched on the walls, a synagogue next to a former mosque turned church. From the Roman era, through various rulers, this town survives as an open-source historical map. This preservation is partly due to its status as a holy city. Its mixed traditions are still preserved from the day when Jews, Christians, and Muslims initiated its cultures. The key fact: from the 16th century, the city served as the national capital and retains a huge repository of art. Practical tip: walk the scenic viewpoint loop in the late afternoon for a full panoramic view of the city on the hill. Eat genuine local almond pastry. Do you think there's anything left to surpass? Yes, there's one last place, a cradle of art, a square like an open-air theater. The second Italian town, in Tuscany, lies across 3 hills, and every road tends to spill into the piazza, a massive red brick funnel. Its famous horse race, held twice a year, is a fierce display of neighborhood identity. This town is an open museum of painting, sculpture, and sophistication, retaining its medieval splendor. It is one of the best places to visit if you are an explorer of medieval cities, offering a ride into the Middle Ages. The key fact: its main piazza is among the largest and most beautiful medieval squares in Europe. Practical tip: climb the high tower at a slow pace, avoiding midday, and if you're hunting for food, look for local wild boar and thick pasta with ragu sauce. What keeps these medieval towns thriving? They possess 3 things modern cities want: a balanced human-to-street ratio, clear community centers, and a story to tell. The toolkit for your itinerary: Climb the tower early in the first Dutch town. Time your visit with the midday bells in the first Italian town. Take the challenging path in the first French town. Book a light kayak tour in the Czech town. Shoot the bridge during golden hour in the second French town. Ascend the nearby peak for the skyline in the Croatian town. Hunt for the night watchman tour in the first German town. Check the tide schedule in the third French town. Loop the scenic viewpoint in the Spanish town. Visit the main piazza when the shadows are long in the second Italian town. The plot twist city midlist is the first German town. It proves that preserving heritage isn't about putting it under glass, but letting people use and love it. Now it's your turn. Do you choose the famous Croatian royal city or a French floating fortress? Comment the destination you want me to map. I will build a 7-day insider itinerary based on your suggestions. Hit like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. We'll meet at the next turn.